Guten Tag alle, Herr Wallace hier. Ich wollte kurz über den Plural mit euch sprechen oder die Mehrzahl. So today we're going to talk about the plural or forming the plural in German. In English, this is relatively straightforward, although we have a lot of exceptions in English as well. But basically, you'll add an S or an ES onto the end of the word. In German, there are a few more rules for plural formation, and as with a lot of these rules, there are also exceptions to the rules, and some of those exceptions are quite common words, so you need to be careful. But having said all that, I want to offer you some tips today on some things that, if you have to guess the plural of a German noun, they will help you guess with a little bit more higher degree of being accurate. So first, let's talk about masculine nouns or der words. Most masculine nouns want to add an E. So your, if you will, default position is to add an E if it's a der word to make it plural. For example, der Bleistift, die Bleistifte, der Tisch, die Tische. The second rule with masculine nouns is if a masculine noun is one syllable long and has an A or U, then it will prefer to take umlauts over the vowel and add an E. For example, der Grund, die Gründe, der Traum, die Träume. There are some pretty notable exceptions to this rule. Der Hund, die Hunde, der Bus, die Busse. So you need to be careful, but more often than not, they will do this. Thirdly, if a masculine noun ends in an ER, EL, or EN, then there is often no change, but they may add an umlaut. For example, der Gürtel, die Gürtel doesn't change, but der Vater, die Väter. So this one does. Another example of a der word that's very common that does this is der Bruder, die Brüder. So this also does it. Feminine nouns or D words want to end in en. So if they already have an e, then all you have to do is add an n. But if they don't have an e, you add an en. So for example, die Schule, die Schulen, die Karte, die Karten. An example of a feminine noun that doesn't already end in e, like die Zeit, then it's going to add both the e and the n, so die Zeiten. Okay, second rule here is that if a feminine noun ends in an in, which is very common with occupations or Berufe, then you must add an nen. So die Lehrerin, die Lehrerinnen, oder die Sekretärin, die Sekretärinnen. Thirdly, if a feminine noun ends in an erel, then often it just adds an n. So die Gabel, die Gabeln, die Kartoffel, die Kartoffeln. For neuter nouns, most neuter nouns want to end in e, just like most der words or masculine nouns want to. So das Geschenk, die Geschenke, das Seil, die Seile. But if a neuter noun ends in an el, er, or en, then there is often no change at all. For example, das Fenster, die Fenster. If a neuter noun sounds like an English word, then it will probably take an S. So das Auto, die Autos, das Hotel, die Hotels. And then finally, or next to finally, if a neuter noun ends in chen or chen, which is a diminutive suffix which shows that it's normally the smaller of something, then there is often no change also. Das Mädchen, die Mädchen. Finally, sometimes when the stem of a neuter noun contains an a, o, or u, then an umlaut is added to it in addition to an er ending. So this is another common ending for das words in the plural. Das Buch, die Bücher, das Huhn, die Hühner. So das ist auch etwas. So you have to watch out for these things, but these rules are meant to give you a general sense of how to form plurals in German. So if you have to guess, you'll have a greater degree of being correct. Okay, vielen Dank für das Zuhören und für das Zuschauen. Danke. Tschüss.